I'm Ruth Rosenheck, and I'm a volunteer with the Rainforest Information Center. This is a film about our campaign to ban cyanide leach mining. The glitter of gold has been driving a new gold rush around the world. Despite the drop in the price of gold, world gold mine production grew 3% in 1998 to reach 82 million ounces. Since the 80s, we've seen a new era of gold fever, with prospectors swarming to alluvial deposits in various developing countries, including Brazil, Venezuela, and the Philippines. Today, worldwide production amounts to about 2,500 tons annually, more than double production in the year 1980. Much of this boom is the result of a remarkable technological revolution: the new use on gold ores of an old mining technology called heap leaching, in which chemicals such as cyanide are sprayed on vast open-air piles of ore to remove the gold. First used on a large scale in the 1970s, cyanide heap leach mining allows miners to coax microscopic gold flecks from low-grade ore. Sometimes as little as 1 ounce of gold can be extracted from 3 million ounces. Cyanide is now the chemical of choice in the gold industry throughout the world. More than 90% of the 2,500 tons of annual global gold production is extracted using this chemical. Cyanide is a toxic chemical. 1 teaspoon of 2% cyanide solution can cause death in humans. Today, this dangerous chemical is used in gold extraction operations from Greece to Ghana. It has left a sorry legacy of environmental disasters in countries ranging from Guyana to Kyrgyzstan and the USA. In heap mining, the cyanide waste that's left over is stored in ponds with thin liners that are only 1.5 millimeters thick, and these can leak or break. It's not unusual to have spills of cyanide solution in heavy metal-laced water that can contaminate groundwater, killing fish and waterfowl, contaminating drinking water, and threatening public health and land alike.
The industry tries to explain that cyanide breaks down quickly. That may be true to a point. Over 5 days or so, cyanide will break down. Certainly plenty of time to do a lot of damage, but what people don't often know is that the breakdown products of cyanide can be very toxic in themselves. Cyanate and thiocyanate, a couple of the major breakdown products of cyanide, they persist for much longer, and they are also very toxic to, especially to fish, especially to marine life.
In February 2000 in Romania, there was a break in a cyanide-saturated tailings dam. Tons of water laced with cyanide and heavy metals spilled from the containment reservoir operated by the Oral gold mine near Baia Mare and entered a nearby creek, spreading into the Tisza and Danube rivers. The spill was described by Hungarian officials as the worst environmental disaster to afflict the region since the leak from Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear power station in 1986. Drinking water has been affected, and scientists fear the cyanide and heavy metal residue could remain for decades to come. While Esmeralda, the Australian gold mining company responsible for the Romanian operation, has admitted that 100 million liters of cyanide-contaminated water spilt into a cross-border river system in Romania, they continue to deny that the spill was linked to an environmental disaster 75 kilometers downstream in Hungary, where cyanide levels were reported at more than 700 times acceptable levels in what scientists are calling a wave of death. This spells economic wipeout for the thousands of fishermen and tourist operators who depend on these rivers.
Put it all, look where the ropes are. those ball drives with tractor wheels.
The police are endangering this man's life.
Turn it off, it doesn't need to be on.
The engine.
An ambulance, come on, be reasonable.
The police are endangering this man's life by being here.
We want a police negotiator, and we want one now, and we don't...
The Timbara gold mine has been operating since June 1998 and uses cyanide leaching technology. A unique high-altitude wetland, home to at least 27 threatened species, the ancient sacred site of Timbara Plateau is a Noah's Ark for wildlife becoming extinct elsewhere. Timbara is located at the headwaters of the Clarence River, one of New South Wales's largest and cleanest catchments that supports a fishing fleet at the river mouth, earning $30 million a year.
Putting a big gold mine up the top of this beautiful river is a huge risk. Anything that goes wrong, the consequences are probably irreparable. So the use of cyanide to extract gold, have to be pretty sure there's not going to be anything go wrong. The onus is on those who've put the mine there and want to keep using it. The onus is on them to prove, without any question, beyond any doubt, that this river will not be turned dead like those European rivers by something escaping from that mine by mistake and unintentionally. The onus of proof is on them and not on us to make sure this river remains a living river and part of God's creation.
The environmental risks we take are huge in light of the fact that approximately 78% of newly mined gold each year goes towards jewelry fabrication. Rings, bracelets, earrings, and so on. And demand continues to rise worldwide, what with many unsuspecting consumers wishing to fit the image of wealth and status as portrayed by the media. Each year, 1.6 million North American students buy graduation class rings, accounting for approximately 20 tons of gold and silver. It is these high demands for jewelry that legitimate the large-scale gold mining industry's further exploitation of the resource. But with over 35,000 tons of gold reserves in the world's central banks, there's enough gold to cover demand for primary metal at the current levels of use for more than 14 years. If our consumption of gold jewelry was significantly reduced, the gold stored in reserves could last us for close to a century. We simply don't need to mine any new gold, let alone with the use of cyanide leach technology. The design requirements for the use of cyanide leach methods are inadequate, and the inspection procedures are nominal. Enforcement and penalties are less than lip service. We need tougher regulations and inspection procedures. In Turkey, some 700 villagers in the western town of Bergama filed a lawsuit against the Environment Ministry, asking for a halt to a Canadian Australian-run gold mine that used cyanide leaching technology. In 1997, the Turkish Supreme Court ruled in favor of legislation that restricts cyanide use in gold mining on the grounds that it violates the Turkish constitutional guarantee to a healthy and intact environment. A year later, in November 1998, in Montana, a statewide initiative was passed that bans any new gold or silver mines that use cyanide leach mining technology. Since 1982, the Montana Department of Environmental Quality has recorded 6 significant cyanide spills and leaks in Montana, including a release of 50,000 gallons of cyanide solution in north-central Montana. The Rainforest Information Center has formed an international gold mining coalition composed of over 40 groups worldwide. We've launched a campaign to ban the use of cyanide leach mining technologies. Here in our home state of New South Wales, the Greens will be submitting a bill on our behalf to Parliament to this effect in May of 2000. At the same time, we're working to spread this campaign globally. Please get together with like-minded individuals in your country and ask your government to ban cyanide leach mining. In addition, because we recognize the need for improved environmental standards in mining worldwide, we're asking for an international panel to be established to develop consensually agreed upon mining standards. If you would like to help out, you can boycott gold and silver jewelry made from newly mined gold, lobby your government for a ban on cyanide leach mining, and spread the word amongst your friends and colleagues that all that glitters is not gold.